now let's get started. Again, a size J hook. We're going to start off with a slip knot. We'll just wrap it around my finger twice, back of your hand, forward, take the back over the forward, take the new back one up and over, and insert your hook. So as I told you, we need to keep everything in groups of 6, so this never counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you wanted to do any further projects, any other kind of length, just keep it in groups of 6 and just keep counting like that as you go. So if you wanted to do an Afghan, a baby throw, something for the living room, just keep on going. So this is where we want to start off, right down here at the bottom. So I want you just to pinch it down there, right here, and I want you to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Now where you're pinching is going to be your first stitch, and I just want you to double crochet, so wrapping, going in, and we need to always make sure on this project that 2 double crochets always work together. The chain obviously counts as 1 in the rules of crochet, so we actually have 2 there. I now want you to chain 2, 1 and 2, and I want you to skip 2 on the path down here. So 1, 2, we're skipping, going to the third, and I want you to put 2 double crochets into that third. It's easier if I just kind of put my finger over top here and just guide it in that way, so just guiding in. So this finger's holding it so it doesn't rotate around. It's kind of harder to do with if you don't do that. And then double crochet as normal. And again, I'm just kind of holding it. You just have to do it for the beginning line to do that. So you want to put 2 double crochets, and this is actually going to be the center of your scales. This is one center, this is another. So it's now chain 2, 1, 2, again skipping over 2 at the bottom, going to the third, again holding it, and we're going to put 2 double crochets in there as well. Oops, let's try that again. So just kind of holding it on the hook. And the reason why this is happening is because when you chain like you are jumping stitches, especially in the beginning, that chain tends to wrap around the hook incorrectly. So 2 double crochets into that. Okay, and let's make sure the yarn is not tangled, and chaining 2, 1 and 2. So are you starting to see the pattern here? You're going to skip 2 in the bottom. Again, I'm going to hold that and go to the third one over for 2 double crochets. Okay, again chain 2, 1 and 2, and skipping to the third one. I'm going to hold it. Okay, and I want to skip again, 1 and 2, going to the third, so hopefully you're seeing the pattern because you can do this all the way along, and then the final is going to be on the very end. So 1 and 2, and we make sure that we put 2 double crochets in on the very end as well. Because we always have to have 2 double crochets working together, and I'll show you why that is in just a few seconds. So it was 1 and 2. So that is the foundation line to get everything started, and this is where we are. So this is what it's going to look like, kind of like a train track, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So stay with me just for a second. So by keeping it in groups of 6, what's going to happen now is that there's going to be a scale here in the end. We're going to skip 1, another scale here, skip 1, another scale here, skip 1, and then there's going to be another scale on the outside. So that means that it's going to be in balance. And when you look at it, there should be an odd number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in order to make that possible. So let's just rotate this in our hand. Let's turn it. And you can see how I've just turned it. I've kind of turned it in a weird way, but I want you to see it here. I want you to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And the crocodile stitch is not about working on the top of this layer. It's actually about working on these posts that are in between. This is the foundation. So coming in, wrapping, Okay, and we want to come in from this post, so you just want to turn the material so that it's easiest to access, and we're going to double crochet into the post only, and we're going to do that 4 times. The chaining of 3 counts as 1, so in actual fact it's technically 5, if you're being very technical today. Just got to stabilize my yarn off camera here. So we just got that, so we just did our 4. I want to chain 1, and now I want to turn this around, okay, and we want to get this other one now that's in front. We're working our way toward this. So this is how we started. So we've actually come down the post, and now we're going to come up the other side. So this is how it works with crocodile stitch. We go down one post, we go up the other, and then we go down and we go up the other. So now let's go up the other side. So we're going to wrap, and we want to come in from the post from this side, going toward the center of the scale, and I'm just going to pinch it like this so it's all together, so I don't have to really think much about it. So I pinch it so it's kind of like up in the air, and we want to double crochet 5 times. I love these colors. So now that we're got our 5 in, their scale is actually technically done. We just have to chain 1, and you can just fold it back towards you. You can see that it's starting to take shape. So the next one in behind is right here, but we're going to skip that. Okay, that is for the ones that are in the center for the next row up. So we're going to skip that and just immediately jump over. So let's wrap our material and immediately double crochet into the next section there. And again, we're going to do 5. So we're just going 5 into the post, and we're working our way down toward the bottom of the scale. So it takes 5 double crochets to go down. Once you're in the bottom, you chain 1. So let's chain 1. We're going to turn it, and we're now going to grab the next post that you see right here, and we're going to chain up. We're going to double crochet up 5 up the other side. Okay, that was 4 and 5, and now I want to chain 1. So every time you're at the top, you need to chain 1. Okay, so there's the next scale done. You see how amazing that's turning out? Whoops, I just lost my chain 1. Let me make sure I get that back in. So we, like before, we want to skip the next one here. This is where we just were. We want to skip this one and immediately go and start making the next scale. So if you think that you've mastered the crocodile stitch so far, I'm going down with 5 double crochets while I'm talking to you, is that there's 2 lines of crocodile stitching. There's this line, and then there's the foundation line, which we're going to do next. And the foundation line is where everything is basically operating on. So in order to do the scale, you have to have your foundation in first. So now down at the bottom, chain 1, turn, and let's get the next one. It's right beside it. And we're going to double crochet up along the post 5. Man, I love this yarn. I've only ever seen it online, so to have this yarn is amazing. So now we're done, and we want to chain 1, and immediately we're going to jump over to the final here that we have. So it's the final because you're skipping over 1. So we're going to jump over to the first one of the group of 2. Double crocheting down 5, and we're actually on the edge now coming up. So it's 4 and 5. So we're down at the bottom now. Chain 1, and let's flip it. Okay, you got to make sure you be very careful here where your project is working. Okay, so you just got to be very careful you're getting the right stitches. So that one was kind of twisting. Okay, so we want to make sure we actually understand that we're not twisting up that chain. So we're going to crochet now up 5. I know that sounds kind of confusing, but when you're first starting on it, this chain loves to twist around because of the way that you're operating on the post, so you just got to be a little careful about that. So now we've just now chained up, okay, and now what I need you to do is that I need you to slip stitch. So we're just going to come into the center. This is where it's coming down, so we're actually on the very end. Okay, we're going to come down, and we're just going to go right into the center for a slip stitch. So just grab the material through and through. and that'll complete the line. So this is the back side of your crocodile stitch, and this is the front side. So now we're going to work our way up the next level, and we need to create the foundation first and then fill in the stitches or the scales that are in between each one of these. So let's do that next. Now moving up the layers is actually really simple. Really simple. Every time you're in the middle of a scale, you're going to put 2 double crochets. Here, see where you have 2 here? You want to put 2 double crochets in there as well. So the middle, 2, middle, 2. So let's try this. So let's immediately chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And like we did when we first started, how there's in groups of 2, we need to maintain that. So we need to double crochet again right into the end one there. So there's your group of 2. We immediately need to chain 2 like we did in the very beginning, and then we have to come down in between these 2 here. Now you'll notice that they're not together because they're 2 different lines, but I want you to sandwich it. I want you to double crochet, go in between that right there and through the front underneath of where the scales are joining together. Okay, and I want you to double crochet 2 times. So again into the same spot. So what that's doing now is that it's trapping the scale now to the other line that you see underneath. It's holding it together. So now let's chain 2, 1 and 2. We're going to go immediately to the middle of the scale for 2 double crochets, and then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2. Okay, and so we're back again in the group of 2, so just go down in between and then go make sure on this side that you're putting the scale above it so that it's trapping it into position. Oh, you got to make sure you double crochet when you do that. You can kind of feel that around with your fingers, so if you're a good crocheter you can probably feel that back there where it's okay. And now chain 2, 1 and 2. So you can see this line is a no-brainer. The other line's really a no-brainer either, it's just a matter of doing the work. Okay, and so we have 2 more left, so 1 and 2, and we want to reach in between again and making sure that the layer is on the top of the hook. We're going to put 2 in there, and then chain 2, 1 and 2, and then finally the last 2 are going to go right into the center of the final scale. There's nowhere to go other than there. So 1 and 2. So hopefully you've seen that. See how you've just maintained exactly how you started before. And the reason why you can't see the one under before because it's been buried in the scale. And now we're going to work on the next level going up. Finally, let's turn this again. And now we're ready to make the scales that are in between the other 2 scales. So how we start immediately is we just chain 1. And we reach to this one over here. We just totally leave this alone. And we reach and we go into the first one only from the side. Okay, we don't ever go in through the top when we're doing these scales. And just bend the material so that it's easier to, and just pinch it so it's easier to work with. You're going to want to do 5 double crochets going down. And if you remember what you got to do at the bottom, you just got to chain 1. So we chain 1, and now we're just going to turn this material, and we're going to get the next one that's right beside it, right there, and we're going to come in from this side so that the hook is going toward the center of the scale. And we're going to chain up, we're going to double crochet up 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so like before, you remember what we did when we got to the top? We chained 1, and this time we're reaching over to here. So we're bypassing this scale here, and we're reaching. And we're just coming into the post from the side. And again, 5 double crochets. So the way that this scarf is working that I got, if you want to follow the exact thing that I'm doing right now, is that every other line, there's 4 scales on one and 3 on the next. So it's not a lot of work involved. So you got going 5, you're going to chain 1 at the bottom, you're going to just turn it and do the other post that's directly beside it. Again, making sure you're going toward the center of the scale. and we're double crocheting up 5. I don't understand why I'm saying I'm chaining up 5. I'm double crocheting up 5. Okay, we got our 5 in, so now that we're back at the top, look at the accenting of that. Isn't that just gorgeous? So chaining 1, and now I want to reach. Again, I want to bypass this one and reach. Okay, and we're doing the very last scale already for this particular line, so there's only 3 scales on this line. So we're double crocheting 5 going down. Okay, we are chaining 1 at the bottom, turning it, and we're going to get the next one going up. And we're going to double crochet up 5. Okay, and now we're going to chain 1 because that's what we're supposed to do when we get to the top. And this time, instead of just continuing to go, all we just need to do now is that we need to slip stitch. Okay, so we just need to slip stitch it to the middle of this section here. Okay, just slip it. Just slip it. Okay, just slip it in like that. And what that does is it holds the scale to the end now, and now we're ready to turn and move up another level. So let's now turn your material, and again, this is like we've already done. So you're going to notice always in one direction, we're always putting the foundation, and then when we're coming back, we're always doing the scales. So we're now right in between the scales because that's where, or in between the post. Remember, everything's in groups of 2. So we're now just going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to put another one right in between. Okay, do you see how it's in between there? Right in between. Okay, we're now going to chain 2, 1 and 2. The next one is a scale, so we're going to go right in between the scale. Okay, we're going to chain 2. The next one is just like we've seen before, double crocheting going in, and we make sure that the other side that it's on top of the hook. So that traps it and stabilizes that into position. Okay, chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then we're right in between the scale again. Okay, chaining 2, and now we're right in between again. Okay, making sure that the back is on top. And if you're a seasoned crocheter, as I mentioned before, you can probably feel that around with your fingers, and you can actually probably physically see it as well. 1 and 2. Okay, so we're in between the middle of the scale there. And make sure you're paying attention. See where this one is? This is what you're matching. So if you stopped here, you're going to end up going on a triangle. So you got to make sure you do get that final one for putting 2 double crochets in. So don't forget that. And that would complete that line. So again, very simple process. So now that let's turn it, I'm going to show you again one more time, and we'll call this tutorial quits for today. So we're right on the very end, so we're just going to chain up 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and we're now doing the scales because the foundation row is already in place, and we wrap and we come in from the first one from the side. Okay, and again, you just want to turn your material so it's easiest to access. And that chaining of 3 counts as 1 double crochet, so therefore the first one will only get 4 going down the post. And we're chaining 1 at the bottom, and then we're just turning the material and we're getting the other side. So wrapping, we're going into the post on the other side, and we're double crocheting up 5 on this post. That's 3, 4, and 5, and now we're at the top. Oops. And 5, and then once we're at the top, we're going to chain 1, and now I want you to skip over this one because we're now working in between, and we're going to go to this one over here, and we're just going to immediately double crochet over. So just coming into the post from the side, and again it's a 5 going down, chain 1 at the bottom, 5 going up. I'm almost remembering that like it's an elevator. Going down 5. going back up 5. So chaining 1 at the bottom, we're going to turn it and we're going to get the other side. Wow, this yarn's gorgeous. I love this yarn. I said that before. I love this yarn. Did I mention I love this yarn? I love this yarn. So I got 3, 4, and 5. We're going to now chain 1. Okay, and we're going to skip over to the middle, skip over this one, going over there, just to the side of the post again. So if you're finishing this project, a project, where would you finish it? You would never finish it doing on a foundation row. Whenever you're finished and ready to finish this project, you'll finish it right on this particular line. Okay, so you'll always finish it when you're finishing up the scales, because that foundation row will stick up out of your project, as you can imagine. So you don't want that. So we're chained 1 at the bottom, and now we're ready to come up the other side for 5 double crochets. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, and then finally at the end, you can tell that we have the end, because if you're looking at it now, you can see how the scales are now starting to really come into position. You got to get this final 1 there, so we're going to reach over, and we just got 2 more posts to go, so we just got to do your 5 going down. So it's actually a really simple process. It's been something I've been kind of avoiding to learning, and then I finally just got a hang of it, and I actually really like this stitch, to be honest with you. I didn't think I would, but I do. And I didn't think I would because I thought it might have been too complicated for me. And I'm a very visual learner, so I thought, you know, that's just going to be too tough. But I like the Catherine wheel stitch as my favorite, so this makes sense that this is another favorite of mine coming up. So I come up now 5, and we are now finished, but in order to be finished, I have to make sure that I just slip stitch. So I'm just going to come into the center and slip, just like that, and so you're now ready to move up. So that's how you do the crocodile stitch. So if I was to be done this project, this is where I would finish. Never finish on a foundation row. And look at this, isn't that amazing? You're gonna have the most amazing scarf ever. And again, we're using the Line Brand yarn, and this is called Amazing by Line Brand, and it really truly looks amazing, especially because the colors are just accenting each other, and it's really quite great. On behalf of All Free Crochet, I'm your host Michael Selleck, joining you today, and please join me on the crochetcrowd.com or allfreecrochet.com for more free patterns and ideas. Until next time, we'll see you.